What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Always Compete Seahawks podcast. I am Sam. That is Mike. And today we will be breaking down the Seahawks Week 1 win over the Indianapolis Colts. Before we get right on into it, we just want to remind you guys to subscribe. We have gained a lot of subscribers in the videos where we tell you and remind you to subscribe, so we will do that once again. We are trying to hit 250, which will get us, of course, a quarter of the way to 1,000.
Mm-hmm.
A thou. So
A thou?
I'm a thou. You know,
I think that's cool. I don't know.
it's my thing. Don't ask.
All right, I'm not gonna ask.
But I'm very I'm giddy to hop in and talk about this game today.
Me too. This was a very good game.
Opening thoughts, without saying anything too specific, I'm gonna give my thoughts, my quick thoughts on the game, and you're gonna give your quick thoughts on the game without being too specific, talking about certain players or certain plays or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that this was our best performance all around versus what I perceive as a pretty good team in a long time.
Yeah.
The offense was really clicking. The defense held strong basically the entire game. They got big stops when they needed to. We're obviously going to be talking about which big stops and which plays and all that later.
Right.
But Mike, just give your quick kind of simple.
I thought this was just an all-around great performance. This is the type of performance that you need to see from teams that go far in the playoffs, where the offense played well, defense played well, special teams played well. We really clicked on all three sides of the ball, and I was very, very, very pleased with how we played week 1.
Yeah, I mean, now we're really going to hop into the specifics here. Let's begin with the offense and the offensive side of the ball.
Shane Waldron, oh my God. Dude.
The tight end screens they were just like
the motions,
screens, like the 3 tight end lineups.
By the way, Gerald Everett, are you kidding me?
Gerald Everett is a certified dog.
The difference between Gerald Everett and Greg Olsen, I expected throughout the season to be like, oh yeah, Gerald Everett was better. Week 1, I'm like, I could just tell they have a legitimate tight end now. It's just so obvious.
They have a good connection. Gerald Everett, I think I saw a Mike Dugard tweet that said that he saw Gerald Everett line up at every offensive position that was not offensive line or quarterback. He lined up in the backfield.
He did. I remember at fullback. Yep.
He lined up on the line, and he lined up on the outside.
Mm-hmm.
The versatility that he brings to this offense, especially in the Shane Waldron offense, is just – it was great. He had a touchdown. I was
on the slant. The thing I love about, really quick, if we're going to talk about Gerald Everett's touchdown, is I'm a big guy on scheme. I love scheming players open. What Shane Waldron did there is he had Will Dissly here, Gerald Everett here. Will Dissly ran that seam route up the middle, and that took the linebacker and the safety. Underneath was Gerald Everett on that slant. Russ through the slant. It was wide open. That's the type of stuff that you want to talk about, scheming players open. That's exactly what Shane Waldron did there. That was a perfect play call.
Yeah, he was wide open.
Wide open.
In a shoddy offense, he would just have all 4 guys run slants and just expect one of them to be open.
Right. That's what I'm talking about. It's the innovation of Shane Waldron.
This is great. I guess for the offense, we'll kind of go through the game, kind of in order.
Mm-hmm.
On the first drive, things were looking kind of bleak. I believe it was 3rd and 9. I'm like, uh-oh, here comes the slow start. The Colts had just scored. I'm like, oh man, this sucks. We're gonna go 3 and out, and then we're gonna punt, and then they're gonna score, and then we're gonna have to find some way to win in the 4th quarter, like we always do.
Mm-hmm.
3rd and 9. Russ has a really nice scramble where I guess the B gap. I didn't watch the scramble live, but from what I heard, like the B gap assignment, there was no B gap assignment, and it was just left wide open, and Russ just took it, and I think got like 11, 12 yards for the first down. And that ultimately continued the drive. Chris Carson, was that the drive that he had the really nice run?
Yes. The first drive of the game was like that 30-yarder. Yeah.
Which is like probably like Chris Carson's like 2nd longest run of his career.
Might be the first. It might be the longest run he's ever had.
No. He had the one.
Was it against Minnesota?
Versus Buccaneers. The Buccaneers. Where he had
like a
50-yard run.
Yeah, I remember that. Yep.
And as I'm watching this, the Browns just sold this game with a awful throw by Baker Mayfield. But
damn, Progressive can't save him from that one.
Sorry.
Damn, I'm sorry.
Progressive versus State Farm battle.
Yeah, bro. State Farm just gonna win. Not hey, you can't say
Farm.
State Farm. Aaron Rodgers played like shit today.
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers got benched and lost 38-3 versus the Jameis Winston Saints.
Eat that dough, baby. Eat that dough.
Top-notch performance.
We love it.
We need that every week from the opposing team of the Packers.
Yep.
But
yep.
Moving on. Russ gets us down there.
Yeah.
I believe we're at like the 26 or something like that. Russ.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Gets behind him and
just
he
the
ball and
the adjustment. I don't know how he did that.
Lockett. Like the man broke his spine to go back and get that ball.
And the thing was, Russell Wilson put it in the spot. He knew Tyler Lockett was going to do that. It wasn't like bad throw, great adjustment. It was like Russell Wilson knows exactly where Tyler Lockett's going to be. He knows that he
threw it where he knew he was going to be. Like
Tyler Lockett was running here. Russ went. Tyler Lockett went. Oh, all right. Boom. I don't know how. Pete Carroll talked about it after the game, and he was like, I don't know how they did that. I honestly don't know how they did that.
Tyler Lockett said that before the game, just by chance, he had Nate Carroll, who's I believe a defensive assistant, who's Pete Carroll's son. Mm-hmm. He had him out there throwing passes super high up in the air, and then Lockett would have to adjust under it in anticipation for like the moon ball happening and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So Lockett gets that really nice touchdown, really sets up good momentum. We hold them on the next drive on defense. We're going to talk about that in a little while.
Yeah.
But then the next drive, that was the drive where Gerald Everett got a really nice wide open touchdown. That drive.
Can I just say a couple of things about that drive? Not only was the touchdown nice, but leading up to that drive, and honestly, for the whole game, we had a great mix of run and pass. Pete Carroll wants to run the ball. And when we're running the ball effectively, I have no problem with that. Chris Carson was gaining 3. I don't think Chris Carson had a negative run that I remember. Did he?
Chris Carson, he might have, but like
it was so minuscule.
It might have been like a no gain or like a loss of 1 or something like that. Like,
but we were running the ball effectively, and there was this one play that I saw, and I still don't know how to explain it. It was just a simple run up the middle, but we had DK and Tyler in the back, like doing like this motion cross thing. And the Colts, you saw them kind of freeze and then boom, right up the middle. And when you can freeze defenders and you can make them, I guess, guess or have to, look, that just clears up so much more space up the middle. So absolute, and again, it was probably like a 4-yard run, right? But just the fact that the Colts were just so confused. Who's getting the ball? DK and Tyler are in motion. Is it a handoff? You know what I mean? It's just that confusion that just led to just such a successful day offensively. And that's something that Shoddy never did. Never did it.
Yeah, like Shoddy had no creativity. He's just like, I have DK Metcalf. Let me run him deep and he'll get open.
But Shane Waldron's like, I have DK Metcalf. Let me motion him 6 times. Let me fake it to him a couple times.
And then still have him score a touchdown.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
We score a touchdown on a very, very nice Gerald Everett play. We punt on the next drive. And then on the next drive after that, this was with just about like a minute to play. We really didn't have a lot of time. Dee Eskridge had a 13-yard jet sweep.
Yep.
I mean,
again,
we'll talk about Dee Eskridge a little later.
Injected into my veins, Shane Waldron, please.
Gerald Everett had a very nice play. A 21-yard play that was brought back for legal formation. I think we didn't have enough players on line of scrimmage or something like that.
I think Dwayne Brown was off the line of scrimmage, or Dwayne Brown maybe was on the line of scrimmage. I don't know. It was something with Dwayne Brown. I remember. Yeah.
So that negated it, and then Russ got sacked on the next play. I'm like, well, it's 2nd and 20, 31, 40 seconds to go. I'm like, well, this drive's over. And maybe one of the best moon balls we've seen in a couple of years from Russ. Just a absolute dot right in between the safeties for Tyler Lockett.
For 69 yards, mind you.
Nice. Just nice, by the way. I mean, come on.
And he's the 69th pick, so double nice.
Come
on. No, yeah. When he got sacked, I believe it was DeForest Buckner that sacked him.
No, it was looking at. I have like a play-by-play thing on
you're
ESPN
cheating
here.
Oh, so you're cheating. That's cool.
Who said I'm cheating? This is an aid.
I'm just kidding.
So it was like Khari Willis, the safety.
Okay, it was Khari Willis. So Russ got sacked. It was 3rd and long. I'm thinking, all right, we're gonna punt, go into the half of 4. Then I see Russell Wilson drop back, and I kind of see him looking downfield. I'm like, what's going on
I
here?
saw Tyler Lockett
And
running
then
the route
and then
immediately.
he just and I'm like,
He
oh
had
my
like one of
God.
those like long windups where he was just like,
I'm like, what's he doing? And I see the ball leave his hands, and I'm like, all right,
there are some plays
who's
where
open?
you look at the ball come out of his hand and you're just like,
Just
this
like,
is the one. This
and
is the one.
I didn't, because of the way the camera angle is, you can't see, who's down that far. I'm like, I don't care what the coverage is. I don't care who the receiver is. This is a big play.
If
And then
this could be like Tyler Mabry and it's going to be a touchdown. You know, just like,
and then the camera just goes like this. You see Tyler Lockett. I'm like, oh, that's a touchdown.
And you're just like, okay, yeah.
Touchdown.
Cool.
Before
Awesome.
the ball was not even in the screen, and when Tyler Lockett was like this, I was like, touchdown, 100%.
Yeah. I mean,
so just an absolute beauty. One of my concerns, I think I talked with Chris about this when we did our episode with him. I said, yeah, I love all the motion, I love the quick game stuff, but I'm worried we're gonna lose that element of deep ball and passing with the moon ball. Nope.
no, we had like I think like 2 or 3 30-yard passes. There was another one for DK later.
Nope.
Yeah.
So
nope.
And
really, this is the first game. We don't know how Waldron's gonna change.
Yeah.
I mean, for all we know, I don't really watch film on NFL games, frankly. So I don't know, like, if like the Colts are very good at like preventing the deep ball or whatever.
Yeah.
But let's say Waldron's watching film and he sees a team that's bad against playing at the deep ball. I imagine that they'll probably test the deep ball a lot more than they did in this game. We had like a deep ball, the DK that didn't ever really turn into anything. It was like just like a heave on third down.
Yeah.
But
speaking of DK, a concern that I had that I didn't have at the end of the game was, I said, at halftime, DK didn't have any catches, didn't have any yards. I'm thinking, man, is DK got to get going?
But that's not necessarily a problem for me, especially when you see the rest of the offense flowing like it was.
Yeah.
I said, listen, if DK is not involved, if DK is not involved in the offense sucks, that's one thing. If DK is not involved in the offense is clicking because DK is not involved, which I'm not saying that DK being involved makes the offense worse. I'm saying that teams, when a guy like DK Metcalf's on the field, all the attention is shifted to him.
Literally, you could see it in the Colts coverage. They were rolling over. They had a corner help. They were having an extra safety. That's why
Tyler Lockett had such a great game.
Exactly. That's my point. And so when they devoted that much attention to DK, oh shit, Tyler Lockett's in man coverage, and Tyler Lockett's going to beat man coverage. Oh shit, nobody's on Gerald Everett. Oh shit, nobody's on Freddie Swain or whatever. Yeah. Or they don't have enough people in the box to stop Chris Carson, running up the middle. So it's a very good thing. And in the second half, you notice they tried to take away Tyler Lockett a little bit more. Then DK got going. DK had 4 for 60 and a touchdown in the second half. So it's just the offense was great. We sputtered a little bit in the second half, like in the third quarter.
Yeah, at the beginning, I feel like that was at the point where both offenses were figured out by both defenses, and then they had to adjust the whole system mid-game.
I think it's a little bit of just the Seahawks wanting to be fairly conservative and not like turn the ball over or anything like that.
Like not hurt themselves by turning the ball over, which we would do later in the game.
Right.
But I was very happy with the first half. I think, we scored on 3 or 4 drives. The offense looked really comfortable. I was about to say, I thought Russ looked very comfortable.
That's another concern that I had, is that not necessarily with Russ, but just any new player, learning a new system, sometimes it takes a little bit. From the first snap, Russell Wilson looked calm, cool, and collected. He knew where he was going. He knew his progressions. He knew his checkdowns. He had a really, really good understanding of the offense. And you could tell that the chemistry between him and Shane Waldron was just already there, which was just so, so awesome to see.
Yeah. The report was that Shane Waldron wanted to be on the sideline, not in the booth, because he wanted to be able to talk to Russ mid-game and kind of, be able to adjust what needed to be done, which might actually be super key to how this game went.
I never liked the fact that Shoddy was in the booth. He was in the booth last year. I didn't like that. I much preferred the guys to be on the field, just talking with the whole offense. You know what I mean?
And the thing is, Shane is by definition, a box coach. He was the guy in the box telling Sean McVay what to run on certain plays just by looking at what was going on the field. He would be like, oh, cover 2, do so and so, so and so. Sean McVay would be like, okay, so and so, so and so, and then they probably get like a 30-yard play.
Mhm.
But him being very comfortable and calling good plays on the field was really good to see. And kind of moving on. The like you said, the offense sputtered a lot in the second half. We did have that.
I
one
say
touchdown
they
drive.
sputtered in like the third quarter.
Yeah,
Because in the fourth quarter, I think they were
sputtered
fine.
in the third quarter, and we sputtered in the fourth quarter. But I mean,
Yeah.
it's not really major. We had a drive here where Russell Wilson deep pass to DK began the drive for 30 yards.
That was awesome. And then again, that's the thing I'm talking about. DK was wide open right there. DK, I think personally, and I'd have to look at the exact play or their exact defense. I think that was great scheming right there from Shane Waldron to get DK so open. Obviously, DK's fast as hell. So I'm not saying it was only Shane Waldron. DK's fast. He has got a good connection with Russ. But I'm saying, DK Metcalf should never be that wide open. I don't care what defense you're running. DK should never be that open. So the fact that he was just wide open for 30 yards is really encouraging for me.
Yeah. And then we had just a couple short kind of plays, 6 yards, 4 yards, 9 yards, 5 yards. Just like one other thing that was very confidence instilling for me is that throughout the game, the offense consistently converted on third down.
Mm-hmm.
Which was always a concern last year. On third down, I think we were one of the worst teams in the NFL, which is disgraceful.
We were 4 for 9 on third down.
4 for 9, 50%. All things considered, it's just about 50%, just about, like I said.
Yeah.
All things considered, that's not great, but it's good for this team, and it's a sign of improvement. So, yeah. But the drive was capped off by a DK Metcalf 15-yard touchdown. And something interesting that I am seeing on the play-by-play sheet for this is that, listen to this. On the thing, so Seahawks had just gotten a 4-yard run for Chris Carson.
Mm-hmm.
And then the play-by-play literally lists no huddle, shotgun setup, Russell Wilson, short pass to DK Metcalf. Tempo was another thing
I'm tearing up.
I saw. The tempo was very good in the first half, especially. We would get like a 15-yard catch, and then it's back to the line. Let's go. You work out. Tempo is one of the most underrated things for an offense. If an offense is rolling and you keep a good tempo, your offense is on their heels.
Great. The defense is on their heels. Their D
linemen
get super tired. Their corners, it's just tempo.
Their corners don't know what to do because they're constantly adjusting coverages.
It's also really hard to get defensive subs in when you're going no huddle. You're running guys on the field super fast, and it's just
and you're getting guys huffing on the field, huffing off the field. I love the no huddle. DK Metcalf 15-yard touchdown on what was just a very pretty, nice little seam route that was just right down the middle.
That reminded me. That was the same one he had against. Was it the Vikings? The first one, not the game winner. The first one he had against the Vikings, was it?
That was kind of like a long slant. That was like a slong.
Ooh, pause.
Hey, it's not a schlong. It's a slong.
I think that the technical term is skinny post, but we can call it schlong if you want.
Yeah. He read my schlong there, and it was just it was very nice to see. After that, the offense really didn't do much. That's the end of it. This is what I really want to talk about, though, the defense. Actually, really quick before we move on to the defense, I want to talk about offensive total stats. Russ went 18 for 23, 254 yards, 4 touchdowns, no picks, 3 sacks,
Love to see it.
13 yards.
By the way, really quick, the 3 sacks, 2 of them, he didn't even get touched. He just gave himself up. That's how I want to see Russell Wilson sacked. I want to see that. I want to see him taking hits.
Tom Brady. Tom Brady gives himself up. He doesn't even risk getting hit.
I don't want to see. If Russ is running and he wants to maybe finagle, do whatever. If you're gonna get sacked, just get down. Don't get hit.
Especially if it's by DeForest Buckner, just get down.
Yeah, but again, if he can move out and make it. Yeah. But if there's no way out, just
awesome. But if you're in the pocket, just accept defeat. Don't take the hit.
Yeah.
And if they do want to hit you, then you got a penalty. So.
Yep.
Very nice. Russ had a great game. Chris Carson, 16 carries, 91 yards, 6. Actually, rounding up, it's 5.7 yards per carry.
It's perfect.
Perfect. Great. Dee Eskridge was second with two carries for 22 yards.
You'll love to see it.
Well, we're gonna get on a little somber note about Dee Eskridge in a second, but
Yeah.
On the receiving side, Tyler Lockett 4 catches, 100 yards, 2 touchdowns. DK 4 receptions, 60 yards, 1 touchdown. Will Dissly 3 catches, 37 yards. Will Dissly had a fairly large role in the offense.
Will Dissly absolutely dehumanized number 58 on the Colts.
I think it's Bobby Okereke or
whoever. I'm sorry, you have to retire after that. If you could just get that was like a Derrick Henry type stiff arm. Mm-hmm. Just get out of my face.
Chris Carson 3 catches, 26. Gerald Everett 2 catches, 20. Dee Eskridge had 1 catch for 6, and that was kind of it. Mm-hmm. Now we can move on to the defense. Defense played very well. This is exactly, like you said, this is exactly what we're going to need from our defense if we want the defense to win. And I mean, if we want the team to win, especially the defense. Their first drive, they had a field goal. It was a 9-yard drive. Not really mad. It would have been a 3-and-out if we didn't jump off sides.
Yeah.
It's kind of a shame, but it's not. It is what it is. It is what it is. Next drive, he forced a punt. Then the Colts scored a touchdown after that. Really not much happened. Carson Wentz got sacked on the second drive. Carson Wentz got sacked by Rasheem Green, who had a very nice performance.
He was good.
He was very good. Very good. So I'm happy with that performance from him.
Just the D-line in general played really well, especially,
we were about another D lineman in a second that I know we're very happy about.
I'll save him. I won't mention him just yet. But we mentioned, the Colts would be without their left tackle. I thought we got pressure from all sides, not just the weakened left tackle. We got pressure up the middle. We got pressure from both sides. So I was really, really happy with the way our defensive line played as a whole, but specifically this one guy right here.
Yeah. Fun fact, the Colts had 3 3-and-outs.
That is awesome.
Of which the Seahawks had
2.
0.
It's 0 3-and-outs?
0 3-and-outs. We had 1 that was only 4 and 2 that was only 5. I mean, if you want to count the fumble, we had a 3-and-out with like less than 2 minutes to go in garbage time when we were just running up the middle to waste clock.
Yeah, who cares?
That doesn't count. That doesn't count. If you want to count the fumble, which was technically only 2 plays, then sure, you can call that a 3-and-out. But we had no legitimate incompletion, 3-and-outs. Which is very nice to see. The Colts had 3, and maybe the highlight for the defense of the game was a fumble recovery by DJ Reed on an attempted quarterback sneak. Carson Wentz, it was like 4th and 1. They're in Seahawks territory. I believe it is a 2-possession game at this point. I think it's 21-10. Wentz tries to go over Jamal Adams, full sends Troy Polamalu style over the center.
Yeah.
He dives at Carson Wentz. It didn't even matter because Carson Wentz never got the snap. So
he was
Jamal
terrified.
Adams saves maybe what could have been maybe the most impressive play of the week. Instead, he fumbles a snap. The ball kind of I remember watching the ball kind of squirted out of the pile for some reason, and then DJ Reed was
Carson Wentz was just pissing down the side of his leg, and when he said hike and the ball came and you see Jamal fly in the air, he just was like, fuck, it just dropped the ball.
Just damn it, and the ball just slips out of his hand.
Just zoom in out from after the fumble, there's just a stream of wetness going down his pants.
Yeah. It was not great for Carson Wentz, but it was great for us.
Loved it.
So that on that drive.
Speaking of Jamal Adams, blitz boy. He didn't blitz today, and that was perfect because we got pressure without Jamal blitzing.
Jamal Adams had 6 total tackles.
Jamal has 6 tackles. He played coverage a lot. Played very good coverage, mind you.
He got a non-credit tackle for loss early in the game,
against Jonathan Taylor.
I think Benson Mayowa was the one who finished it, but he had a non-credit tackle for loss. It was basically an assist tackle for loss, but Jamal did have a very good game in the role that I was hoping to see him play, which is the Jamal Adams role.
Blitz sometimes, cover, play well against the run.
Play kind of on the second to third level, dominate versus the run. Like he disrupted so many plays. He didn't make the play, but one of my football coaches said one time that as a player, disrupting the play is just as good as getting the tackle for loss.
Mm-hmm.
Because once you disrupt the play, chances are it will already be a tackle for loss.
Like for example, that play against Jonathan Taylor just goes right through the line. No offensive lineman touched him. Grabs his ankle, doesn't bring him down,
trips him up,
and Ben Semedo was right there.
It's like a 3-yard loss, and that was the drive where they were in the red zone, inside the 10, and they had to settle for a field goal. So very good there. They allowed a couple. I guess the one issue that I'd really have with this defense today is on the drives where the Colts scored, they were like long drives, which is not good.
Yeah.
Like the Colts' first touchdown drive, not even touchdown, it was a field goal drive, took 14 plays, and it was 9 minutes long.
Yeah, I thought we weren't going to touch the ball in the first quarter. Like, that was kind of scary for a second there.
Yeah, they were just running that clock out. But the advantage to this defense is that whenever they turn the ball over, like punting or, anything like that, besides that one time that they had the turnover on downs, on which a very notable player got a sack, no comment on that for now. They had a turnover on downs. That was also a 14-play drive that took 6 minutes, but we did get the stop, so it's a little different.
But one thing I'll say, if we're going to just maybe be negative for just 1 second, Trey Flowers.
I mean, Trey Flowers had like that one bad play.
I think the corners were like fine. I wouldn't say they were offensively bad.
But honestly, our pass rush was so great today. We had 10 quarterback hits. 10. Yeah. That's awesome. Really, really good. We also had 3 sacks.
The best play, in my opinion, it wasn't even a sack or even a tackle. It was when the Colts were backed up, I think at their 10 or their 15-yard line, and they ran that RPO.
Talking about
Carson
Brian
Wentz.
Monet.
Yeah, Brian Monet.
Monet, who's all 340 pounds of him.
That should not have happened.
Carson Wentz and lands full body weight on
Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz threw a slant. That ball was out in half a second, and Brian Monet just.
Yeah, like Carson Wentz was like feet off of the ground.
That was awesome.
Like horizontal in midair.
You saw, dude. The funniest thing is you saw like when they did the slow mo replay. Carson Wentz took the snap, was like looking at the slant. His eyes went. You saw Brian Monet. It was like, oh fuck.
That's a big boy.
threw it, and Brian Monet was like, and just
yeah. I mean,
and then Carson Wentz was on the ground. He was like, dude, fuck.
I left Philly so that I could avoid this kind of thing. That's
bro.
what he's thinking while he's on the ground. Talking about players of the day, give it to Rasheem Green. I mean, honestly, he had a sack, a tackle for loss. Interesting stat here. He had 2 passes defensed.
Yeah.
And then he also had 2 quarterback hits. Like the dude, he was facing Julian Davenport. It was not LaRaven Clark. I was wrong when I said that LaRaven Clark was the backup left tackle. Yeah. Julian Davenport's the backup left tackle. He got destroyed by Rasheem Green today. So good on Rasheem Green for having a really nice game. Bobby Wagner, 13 total tackles, a tackle for lost pass defense.
Jordan Brooks. We literally just did the same thing.
Tackles. Yeah, like Jordan
I think he had
Brooks.
13.
11 total. Yeah, 11. And they had 7 solo, which was tied for most on the team with Quandre Diggs. So, Jordan Brooks kind of, I already think that
there's a guy that we haven't brought up. You want to bring him up now? Is it the time to bring him up?
Well, let's wait. There's still a couple guys I want to comment on. Carrie Hyder had a really nice game. He had a couple plays that stood out that were not necessarily like stat sheet fillers, but they were very good plays. Benson Mayoa had a sack, 2 tackles for loss, and 2 quarterback hits. By
the way, he looks great, number 10. I take it back what I said. He looks great, number 10.
Yeah, Carlos Dunlap had a sack on a 2-point conversion attempt. Cool.
Awesome. Does that count as the sack?
It doesn't count on the stat sheet as a sack.
No. It should, though.
Brian Monet had 5 tackles. Nice. Come on. That's great.
My man.
Mike, I real quick before I move on, I saw real quick. I don't know if you guys know me, but I'm a Puna Ford stan. When Puna got hurt, I generally collapsed to my knees.
Yeah.
I felt the moment of pain, and then it was like, and I got the notification like Poona Ford is up and walking off the field. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, dude, Tyler Lockett got hurt early in the game, and I was like, dude.
Early
fuck.
in the game. And
I was
I'm
like, fuck.
Oh. And then DK got hurt, and I'm like, oh my God.
DK got hurt?
DK like limped off the field for a play.
Oh. He's probably like, let me just. All right, I'm good.
Yeah, just like injecting his like painkillers into his veins. But
it's just a valve of like his blood. It's like
yeah.
I need a refresh.
Hang on, I just need a little hit of this. All right, we're ready. Mike, the player that I was very happy to see dominate was Daryl.
We have been hyping this man up since April.
So much was on the line. If
we have been we look like idiots if he sucked. And you know, Pete Carroll, he's had a great camp. He's had a great training camp, blah, blah, blah. We're thinking, okay, all right. And then he goes out and he absolutely just dominates. That play, I'll tell you what, for those of you who don't know what play we're talking about, there's a play 4th down late in the game. Carson Wentz takes a snap back. Darrell Taylor lined up, absolutely obliterates the right tackle. I mean, just
Braden Smith, who is a top-tier right tackle.
He's a quality right tackle. Absolutely obliterates him. Gets to Carson Wentz and just boom.
And it was totally clean. Like
it was
hits him like right and like the
it's
right in the stomach.
Textbook head
tackle.
Head
he
to the side of the jersey.
He leaves his feet, brings him down, and when I say that Carson Wentz's neck snapped after that hit in such a way that I could kind of feel it. Like he hit the ground, he went. I was like, oh.
When I saw that
that's
play,
Darrell Taylor, right?
Most people would actually be like, oh, let's go. I was like,
it's just like that. It's like that. It's that moment of like, it's that moment where you're so happy that you don't know how to put it into emotion, and you're just like, that's my boy.
That's my guy.
And it was on 4th down.
Dude, I'm crying just thinking about it, bro. Oh my God.
It was on 4th and 1, which is just like he did it. He did it.
It's our guy right there.
He did it well. So that's
our boy. We deserve credit. We have been hyping him the hell up.
I mean, we know that he listens to this podcast, so that was just motivation.
Yeah.
It was just
right.
Ultimate motivation.
We should have been like, bro, you suck, and he has like 4 sacks.
Yeah, he's like he has like Chandler Jones.
Yeah, I was gonna say like Chandler Jones, bro. By the way, Loki kind of scared to play Arizona now.
Well, don't worry, because we play Tennessee next week, so hopefully that's a good.
By the way, stay tuned for that episode. Week preview coming up in just a few days here.
Very excited.
Probably like 4 or 5. But
very excited.
So,
I mean, moving on to our, give the offense and defense a grade before we move on to our next kind of
offense
category.
Offense 9 out of 10. Defense 8 out of 10.
Like an A-.
Yeah, defense 8 out of 10.
And I'd say defense like a B+, which is honestly, if our offense plays like they did today every day, like with like very little mistakes, control the ball very well.
To be a good team, you need a B average. The Seahawks are like a B+ average right now, which is really good. Offense, B defense. That's a recipe for awesomeness.
And I mean, honestly, I think the defense could be deserving of a B+.
Yeah.
We are giving them a little kind of hate on that grade because they played very, very well today. Carson Wentz looked so uncomfortable the entire game. I remember like watching clips of him. He looked frantic. He looked like he was a little nervous, like a little panicked. He really hasn't gotten much snaps in training camp.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the reasons, but very proud of today's game. Overall grade, I'd give it probably an A-.
Didn't I almost predict it? Didn't I say 28-24? That was my score prediction?
I don't know. I can't remember.
I'm pretty sure that's what my score prediction was.
I think it's like 30-24 or something like that. I
did
not expect it to be. I did not expect it to be a 2-possession win.
I expected it to be
a 3-possession win.
Yeah, basically.
I mean, they got like a touchdown like 3 minutes left or whatever. Like it was not like a. It was not like
they scored. Yeah, they scored in groups. This was a 28-10 win in my opinion. That's what I count it as. But that's kind of our recap of the game. Awesome.
Quick, I have one more category to kind of break down here.
And
Mike, I have a question for you.
Yes.
How do you know that Seahawks season is back?
Because of Pete Carroll's locker room speeches after the game.
Close. It's because Rashad Penny's getting hurt, baby.
Ooh,
Rashad Penny
yeah.
out with a calf injury. He went out at halftime, did not come back. Kind of touching on some more injuries. Penny Hart left with a concussion. Ethan Posick. Oh, that's something I want to talk about. Kyle Fuller is
Much better.
by far the better center.
Remember, wait. I'm gonna brag about this one. Remember when we had Nathan Ernst on and we were talking about center, and I said, "Hey, I think Kyle Fuller is the better center, and I think he'll win the job." And you guys were like, "No, Ethan Posick." Kyle Fuller proved me right today. 100%, he proved me right.
The offense just looked much more normal. I imagine that's because Russ probably got more snaps with Kyle Fuller in camp because Ethan Posick was hurt a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And talking about Ethan Posick a little bit more, he is hurt. Knee injury. No real knowledge on the severity as of now. I imagine we'll know by tomorrow when Pete has his press conference where he talks about, injury updates and what's going on there. But yeah, that happened. And then the worst, most devastating injury is that Dee Eskridge has a concussion.
Not fun.
Not fun. He got hit while going out of bounds right on the noggin, and he was down. And I knew by the minute that he got hit that it was a concussion.
Well, anyway, it should have been a personal foul in my opinion because he was like already out of bounds, and then the other dude came in and was like, and I was like,
yeah, I mean,
bro.
I honestly, D walked off under his own power. He got up pretty quickly. It wasn't like it was like a long.
This isn't a major injury. This isn't a major injury at all.
It's probably like a weak concussion. If it and by weak I mean WEEK, not WEAK.
It's a pussy concussion, bro.
I mean, it's like a week-long concussion. If he's out, he might be able to pass concussion protocol and be able to practice maybe by Thursday or Friday.
Yeah.
That's the best case scenario. Worst case scenario, it's a 2 to 3 week injury that holds him out for a while. So
yeah,
that's not good. But we're gonna hope that he can play. And that's gonna kind of wrap it up. Seahawks beat the Colts in week 1. On to the Titans, who got dusted by the Cardinals today.
Me when I realized the Titans got destroyed. Me when I realized it was the Cardinals.
Yeah. Honestly, I think it was more of a Titans thing. They had like so many blown coverages.
Yeah, bro. Kyler, I'm sorry, dude. Kyler's out there just fucking playing Madden. Do you see him that one play where he's just running around back there?
He's running around, and then there's a guy wide open. Like wide open. Like the Titans are. I'm so ready to play the Titans.
But Derrick Henry's. That's the thing, though. Now Derrick Henry's mad. So it's like,
Bobby Wagner owns Derrick Henry. And then he's gonna get stiff armed, and then they're gonna be pulling up this clip, and then But listen, that's not the point. The Seahawks win. Stay tuned for a Titan preview sometime this week. And we appreciate you guys for watching. Subscribe as always.